Awesome. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. Hopefully everyone really enjoyed this morning's product session. A lot of great announcements just along the whole Domo platform. So excited. Thanks so much for taking some time coming here. We have a lot of great new exciting features to walk through. A lot we can cover and dive deep on. We'll take the last few minutes for some questions that as you're all seeing, you can ask questions about. So kind of three areas we wanted to focus on, all around creating data products. First, around app components, the new flexibility and capabilities there with a no-code drag-and-drop builder. Talk about report builder, Kushbu. We'll do that, and then Ryan will walk us through workflows. So my name is Chris Wright. Been at Domo 10 years in product management. Currently director of product management.
I'm Kushbu. I've been here at Domo around 4 years, and I'm a product manager of App Studio, Report Builder, and Dashboards.
I'm Ryan Despain. I'm the product manager for workflows. Been at Domo for about 4 years.
Thanks. So yeah, when we talk about creating these data products, we're really talking about packaging and creating a solution that answers specific data questions, be able to interact and take action with the data within it. It's not always multi-purpose. Sometimes it can just be singular, but it's really an elevated experience beyond just dashboarding. That often includes navigation, includes an engine as far as workflows, and then often be able to distribute like report builder, could be mobile, those type of things. So those are the kind of different pieces, larger parts that make up, that we see data products. So specifically jumping into app components. When it comes to, I would say just in the overall BI industry, we've just seen this natural evolution from crystal reports several years ago, spreadsheets, dashboards, and then what we constantly hear a lot is, hey, I want to take action. I want to do more than just some of the charts and graphs. Those are very needed and purposeful for finding insights, those type of things. And so when we talk about app components, it's really expanding those type of capabilities beyond just charts and graphs, where currently today, a lot of this is really around pro code. You would build a brick. Just show of hands, how many people have built bricks in the Domo platform? Pro code components, those type of things. Awesome, so a good amount. And so really when we're talking about app components, we are talking about taking the customization of a pro code and making it user-friendly so any type of business user can come in and drag and drop in different types of widgets that make up app components. And then being able to tie actions around those widgets, passing filters, opening up hyperlinks, those type of things. So this is what's coming available in beta in about 4 weeks. So it's actively been in development. We went to alpha, now we're coming up in beta. But there's 6 new app components, and then each app component has different templates. And those templates provide a lot of rich flexibility, as you'll see. But they're there to really guide you to understand, hey, what's capable with these type of components? So they're a really good starting place with that. And the widgets that we talk about, we're talking about images, hyperlinks, pills, buttons, text, be able to search, filter, and then we'll just continue to add to this library with additional widgets. And then actions, being able to define different actions with them. And then, as we talked about earlier, just big need is just to be able to edit the data right in place, more of a spreadsheet type of fill. So that is coming soon. You won't necessarily see the editable table component in this walkthrough and demo, but it is something that is in development and looking forward to bringing it forth later this year. So with that, we'll jump right into it. We know a lot of things. We can talk a lot and we can kind of show slides, but the best is a lot of times just coming in and actually demoing what's available. So it brings just that level of trust that you can see. So wanted to first show just data, which a lot of you, using Magic ETL or doing data extracting, things like that. Just want to show you this is one of the data sets that we're looking at, and then we're going to bring into create a data product from it. So this is just retail data. You have some dates, some product categories, some brands, the product name, and then has some information, dimensions around it, and numeric information, cells, web cells, etc. So first, taking this data, a lot of times you build different charts and graphs. I'm going to take this data and a few other data sets and put into data product. So I'll come here, and this is the first page. This is a home page that I created. Everything you see here is no code. It's drag and drop. So there are no bricks here. And first is just the kind of 3 tabs up top. These are banner cards. So we have merchandise, associates, inventory. So here in this data product, I can come in here, executive come in here and say, hey, very easy, which one do you want to see? Do you want to see more around merchandising? Do you want to see associates or inventory? And these all have actions anywhere I click. And then below here is a gallery card. And this is just showing my top 10 sales items. So I can get in a quick view, hey, what are my top 10 sales? Footwear, the first 2. And then if I wanted to click into it, I can look at this item. And then here is a details, so I can see the image, see some of the different key metrics. If I had a lot more columns, you could fill this up, have a description. But this gives you just kind of a quick view. Total, mobile cells, web cells broken out. We can have different time periods, things like that. And then when I set the action, this here is the filter. So you can filter on product name or UPC. So any type of item that I click on, that passes the filter to it. And so you're able to set up these type of different interactions there. So that's first one. At the bottom is a gallery card. So we'll jump into merchandise. And this is where I'll jump through how you can actually create one. So this here is just showing a summary up top, merchandising there, and then we have different sort widgets and search here. And then this here is a list. And so again, I can see the images, I can see the pills, and that way, and then in this way, this one I can drill. Again, this is using the same template that the first one used, so I don't have to create multiple cards in that way, components to drill. You can just set up kind of a master one and then have a lot of objects be able to drill to it. So let's go in and just walk you through how you set it up. First is I come in, and over here in App Studio, we've added several new tiles at the bottom. So these are the components. So we have list, gallery, filter list, details. When you click the list or any of these components, you are taken to a modal that lets you choose a template. And so these are the starting points that you can just be able to select and then be able to power up from there. So I will select this gallery one. And then here it starts with some sample data, so you understand, okay, this is how this can look. I'll go ahead and just choose retail. Select this data set. And then here's the layout. I'll go ahead. Over here, every item, it's similar kind of pattern to you have an App Studio. Over here is global. This is the unique. So I'll just type in the URL. Some of these images are just from public websites, or some are in S3 that are made public. So that's how that is. And then you can go through and define how the height. You could do fixed, all those type of different things. And then over here is the drag and drop. So if I wanted to come here and select a pill, I can do that. And then it's similar to like a notebook card, where you can come in and do add a column, and then you can quickly add additional text afterwards. And then you can just format it. So very easy drag and drop, but then a lot of different types of capabilities. So you can go, I won't spend too much time here, but you get the idea. I can add in multiple columns. I could add in some like spacers or text. I can do the flex, and then you can see it, take up more space. I can make it larger text, all those type of things. So you can get really granular on all of those. And then here are the actions. So this is where you can enable interactive filters. And then when you do that, you can, this is new, you can then select a specific column from that data set. So if I wanted to see the product name pass, all those things, then you can just easily have those pass through to the next level. So I'll just go ahead and delete this real fast. But this hopefully gives you a good idea of the different types of capabilities. And then lastly, here's just some other visuals here. So just some of the filters, and then the filters. So you can filter, and then all of that works with it. Then I can now sort, ascending, descending. And then from here, one of the things in this option here is passing through a form. So you can be able to pass through some of the information values here, all with these different app components. So this is just a real quick walkthrough of the different types of components that are coming available. And hopefully you can see just with these types of components up here, we have some banners. They can click through different apps. You can really take just a few simple data sets. You can go through and do charts and kind of like your typical or good-looking dashboards, but then you can evolve it adding in some of these components to make it much more rich, some of these images, and pass through those. So with that, I'll now turn it over to talk about some of the distribution with Khushbu. Go ahead.
Thanks, Chris. So last year we released App Studio, and one of the top requests that we were getting from customers was that when is reporting going to be available in App Studio? So really happy to talk about that today. How is Report Builder different from reporting in dashboards? So in dashboards today, if you take a schedule report or you try to export something, you get a one-on-one, right? That's not customizable. You can't change things around it. It really is a stringent platform if you look at it that way. With Report Builder, what you'll now be able to do is customize how you want to distribute your report to the specific audience just the way you want it to. So you can extract and import multiple app pages at once. They just get stacked right over vertically in your report. You can drag, drop, swap, resize, remove content just like you would in your App Studio layout. So it's just taking the similar editing platform and applying it to your Report Builder. You can also drag and drop additional content. So if you want to drag a header, you want to drag a border, add in cards, text that do not apply to your app, you can add that specifically to your report, and that will not change anything in your app specifically. That will just be specific to the report. You can customize your email headers, footers, so you can apply your own branding logo, colors. We have a new option to add a button on the header, which can then link out to Domo content. So someone has an email open, they can click on the button up top in the header and then go directly back into the app that the report generated from. Or they can go to a dashboard, a card, a data set, absolutely anything in Domo. We also have theme components, such as card styling, background colors on the report, density, all the rounded corners will just get pulled in. So once you start to build your report, on the first go, it will just take what theme your app has and apply it to your report. After that, you can import absolutely any theme from any other app, and that will not make any changes to your original app. So you can have your report tailored specifically for specific audiences with different themes, even if the app doesn't mirror that. The last thing is then, after you have your report layout set with all the theming and all the configuration, you can apply filters, variables, and then schedule those reports out to different users and groups at specific frequencies. So that UI is pretty similar to what we have today in schedule reports, but I'll dive into it with a demo. So here you see I have an app open. On the left-hand side, this is a new section for reports. Once I click in here, you'll see all the reports generated or started from this app on the left-hand side. You have this button down at the bottom. On the right, you can say, I want to create a new email report. Two options for you. You can start to create your report directly from the content within the app, or you can say, I want to just start from scratch. I only want to send one card. I only want to send one table or 5 summary value cards. In that case, you can just drag and drop 5 cards there and then send it out. I'm just going to go ahead and select a few pages, and that drops you into the builder. So here I can come in and I can say, okay, I like the content the way it is. Maybe I want a border down here. So drag and drop, simple. You can drag in a card that doesn't belong to this app, but you still have access to it. So if you want to add some things to your report which you do not want to reflect in your app, you can do all of that. So headers, borders, images, text, cards, controls, all that's available. Let's change this to sales performance. You can add tagging to your reports now, and using these tags, you will be able to search for your reports in the main reporting section. So if you want to tag your reports to sales, marketing, just like you would search for a report by name, you can now also search it via tagging. You'll change the report background color, you can do that. And the color palette will also pick up from the theme that your app had originally, so I can just make some changes there, maybe a lighter one. Okay. The headers here, if I want to hide my Domo logo, I can go ahead and do that. You have the option to upload your own logo. I don't like that color for the header. Let's go ahead and make some changes. That's done, and it's all simple toggles, so you don't have to really go in and do anything else other than toggling it on and off. That's the button that I was referring to earlier, so you can come in here and you can say, I want to add a top sales card. And by default, this button would be linked to the app that you're creating your report from, but then you can come in here and you can search for absolutely anything and then tie it to the button there. Change your footer color. And so now that your configuration is all set, you will go ahead and just save your layout. And that's done. So once your report layout is set, you can come and you can create absolutely any number of report views on the basis of that layout. Any changes that you make to your original layout will end up transmitting to all the report views that you have. So I can come in here, I can say, okay, that's my first report view. I want to send it out to the central region. So I will just come in here, I will apply my filter. The filter panel is similar to what we have in App Studio. Let me do a refresh on that. Jump back into this. Okay. Let's go ahead and do it again. And that will filter out your report to the central region. Once your filters are applied, your variables are applied, you come to the scheduling section. You can say, I want the email subject to show that this is for the central region, and then you can set your frequency, daily, weekly, monthly. This is just pulling in from the schedule report UI, and then you can enable your report. Once you've done that, you can send it to users or groups and just save that report view. And once that's saved, you can come back here and you will start seeing the entire list of the views that you've created. You can quickly come here and do a save and send now to check how that report looks, so that you want to see it's all looking good before you send it out. You do that, and let's go on. In the main menu, you have a few quick options, which is you can edit the report. You can directly click it here, or you can go here to edit your report. You can do a send now on all the report views directly from that menu, and you can also delete your reports. And similar to scheduled reports, you can access these reports from the admin section and from the reports menu in the Domo's main navigation. Okay, jumping back into what's coming soon. So the first milestone is email report builder. What we currently have under development is also PDF report builder. That was also a very popular request that we had coming from customers. PDF reporting will allow you to have custom margins, orientation, a lot of different layout options. We're also wanting to have different table settings, so you can paginate your table across pages with your sticky headers, and have some page break settings so you know exactly how your layout looks like in PDF. But yeah, that's it for Report Builder today, and I'll pass it over to Ryan.
Thank you. Thanks, Khushbu. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm incredibly excited to talk about workflows today because I've been involved with this product since day one of its development. So it's been rewarding to see the evolution of its capabilities, the value that it's providing our customers, and to feel the momentum that's building around automation. Many of our customers are quickly realizing after they automate a process, they can expand that to automate another and another. And it's creating a real buzz around workflows, and it's just really fun to be a part of it. Now, for those of you that don't have much exposure to workflows, it is a low-code automation tool, and it allows you to graphically model out your business processes and executable workflows. So all the different types of activities that you have in your business processes, things like automated steps, manual tasks, decision points, integrations with other systems, all those types of things can be captured and orchestrated inside of a workflow model, and then you can use shapes and flows to design an efficient process. And when you initiate that workflow, it's gonna run as an optimized, scalable, repeatable process. And we've had customers from different industries, different sectors use our workflow capabilities to build some pretty impressive solutions for their businesses. And their use cases are very diverse. They have their own unique requirements, they have their different levels of complexity, so it shows how adaptable our workflow tool is and how innovative our customers can be, and we are thrilled with the success that they've had with it. Now, another thing we're truly excited about is AI. If you haven't noticed in Domopalooza, we're talking a lot about AI. And we're excited to see how AI has elevated automation to an entirely new level. If you didn't already know, our AI services can be used directly in a workflow step. You're able to access these services through the action menu, and you can assign them to a workflow step. So you can have options for things like forecasting data, image to text generation is a really popular one that we see in workflows, text to SQL, all these AI services can be applied to a workflow step. And when you configure a step with one of these services and then run your workflow, when it gets to that step, AI is going to attempt to execute whatever request it's been given at that point in the process. But I think the easiest way to help you visualize this is to quickly show a couple demo recordings where we're using AI in workflows and hopefully give you some ideas on ways that it can be applied. So in this first example, we are going to use AI to screen some resumes to see if a candidate is a good fit for a position. So let's try that now. In this resume screening workflow at the top here, we have this start step, and it's been configured to accept the candidate's resume, email, and name. And these values will come in when the workflow starts, and we'll store them in variables where they can be referenced in later steps. Then we have a few AI-powered steps here that use our text generation service, beginning with this one called inferred position title. And here, I'm simply asking AI to infer the job title for the position the candidate's applying for based on the resume, and I supply the resume in the prompt. From there, I ask AI to construct a grading criteria from the inferred title. And I tell it that you're helping us create our decision process for evaluating candidates applying to our company and to come up with step-by-step instructions for evaluating the resume of someone applying for that job. And also to come up with an outline on how to score the resume on a scale of 1 to 100. Then I take that criteria that was just produced and I pass it into this evaluation step and give instructions to use that criteria to evaluate the candidate's resume. And that's going to produce a thorough evaluation. Next, I request AI to just give us the score from the evaluation. I just need to get the number from the analysis and nothing else. If the score is lower than 75, we send a regrets email and the workflow ends. But if it's higher than 75, we want to talk to that candidate. So again, with the help of AI, we ask it to construct an email body that we can send to the candidate. It has instructions to create the email on behalf of our CEO and to add a link so the candidate can book time on the CEO's calendar for an interview. And I also ask it to pull a positive statement out of the evaluation and add it to the email body. And I include the variables for the candidate's name, the inferred title, and the evaluation results so it can create that email for us. From there, we send that email off to the candidate and then the workflow ends. Okay, let's run this workflow and see how the AI responds. There are several ways I can initiate a workflow. It can be started through an app, an alert, a timer, through an API call from an external site. Even another workflow could kick it off. But in this case, I'm just going to do it through App Studio. This is a simple app that I created, and the start form on this app will initiate the resume screening workflow. And we know we need to provide the candidate's name, email address, and resume. Those were starting parameters for the workflow, so I'll do that now. And I'm going to enter a fictional character for Skip McGee. But I'm going to use my email address just for demo purposes so we can get the email from the workflow. And then I'm going to paste in a resume here for Skip. And we can see that he is a motivated junior software developer, and it looks like he has some technical skills, knows a few different programming languages. He's still working on his education, but he's got some experience. He's had a few jobs and has done some freelance work. He's been involved in a few projects and has some certifications, and he's also done some volunteer work. So let's submit this now. And we can see that this kicked off successfully. Let's go review the details for this execution. Okay, as we review the execution, we can see the path that the workflow took. And it appears our candidate scored higher than 75 points and was sent an email letting him know that MotoCorp wants to chat some more. Let's look at what was generated at the different steps. So for the infer position title step, AI determined he was a junior software developer based on the information in the resume. For the grading criteria, it outlined 6 different areas with various weights, the highest one being programming languages. And then for the evaluation, our candidate scored 10 out of 20 on education, 21 out of 25 for programming languages, and did fairly well in the remaining areas. For the score that we want to extract, he got 81 points, so good job, Skip. With that score, AI generated an email body that was then sent out. And in this case, it went to my inbox, and I can pull that up. So as instructed, it wrote on behalf of the CEO, and it looks like it pulled something positive out of the evaluation to include in the email. It gave some nice remarks about his experience with certain technologies. And it also added the calendar link for Skip to set up time with the CEO. So again, most of this workflow is powered by our text generation service, but overall, while these AI requests may seem simple in this example, they can have a significant impact when utilized in workflow steps, especially when that intelligence can reduce or eliminate administrative overhead from your process.
Okay. I just wanted to mention in the example that we just saw, if I wanted to, I could inject a human in the loop at one or multiple places in that process. I could do that by adding a manual task to review the content that AI has generated. And that's one of the great things about workflows is you decide how much human expertise you want incorporated into your process. Let's look at one more example here. In this next recording, we are going to look at a workflow that uses our new AI agent task, and it offers some new capabilities that you can use in a workflow step. And in this recording, it was captured by Michael Scott. That's right, you Office fans, we have a Michael Scott that works at Domo. He's actually sitting right here in the front row. Give him a wave, Scotty. There he is. But let's look at his example. He's our dev manager for automation, by the way. So here's his demo.
Hey everyone, this is Michael Scott again with the Domo automation team. Today I'd like to show you an example of how you can simplify your life using the power of AI in Domo. What I'm going to demonstrate is the ability to send an email communication or an SMS communication to your entire organization, translated from the language you type it in into the employee's preferred language. So you can see here, I have a list of my employees in this directory. There's only 10 employees, but you can see each of them speaks a different language. What I like to do is send out one general message, and after I send it, using Domo, I'd like to translate my message into the preferred language of the employee and have it delivered to them via SMS or email, whichever I prefer to use that day. So there's my data set. Let me just start by showing you what a workflow would look like to automate that. The message comes in at the top there, and quickly we look up the company directory, get all the employees there. We then move through the workflow to get the next employee, translate the subject to the appropriate language, then translate the message I'd like to send, and then we determine which method we'd like to send it in. In this case, I chose to send it via email. So it sends the email using Domo's notifications, and then it goes through and it delivers that to all of the employees. The cool part about this is I'm able to use the power of AI to do some translating of the subject and the message. I even add some customization in there to make sure the message includes the employee's name as well. So that is a really cool example of how you can use AI at Domo with the power of workflows as well. However, what if that could be even easier? So right now, I'd like to introduce you to a simplified version of that using the power of AI agents in a workflow. That's it. One step. Well, the start, then the step, and then you're done. What I'd like to show you here is how I pulled that off. In this one step, we call it an AI agent task. If I go in here, I can show you what I've done is defined the instructions to this AI agent. I tell it, you'll be receiving a message that needs to be delivered to everyone in company directory, but before sending it, please translate the subject and the message to the recipient's preferred languages. I then tell it that it's going to receive a data set, but it needs to know how to look up a data set. It also needs to know how to send in message within Domo or an SMS. So in addition to the instructions I give it, I also provide it with a set of tools. I give it a tool for how to query at Domo, how to send an email at Domo, and also how to use an SMS message using Twilio. So let's see how this works. I'm going to jump over here and start this workflow. This is a very important message from Michael Scott. So the subject should be important message with an exclamation point even. I'm going to paste in here that tomorrow is pretzel day. Please come enjoy a fresh baked pretzel. Thanks, Michael Scott. I'm going to deliver this via email, and I'm just going to go ahead and hit submit. Now, what that's doing now is you can see the workflow has started. I'm going to jump over, and we'll see it in progress here. Go ahead and push play. You can see it's thinking it got my message. You can see what got passed in. And it's going to town trying to figure out all the languages, gets the directory, and sends it out. So let's jump over then and see what that looks like in my inbox. Oh, it looks like we've already got one delivered. I got one for John Davis. He was English. Tomorrow's pretzel day. Pretty simple. This one is Japanese for Hiroshi there. And let's jump to Carlos. Mañana es el día del pretzel. Translated, especially, I put a little salutation, an introduction saying, using their name, which is nice. It was a nice ad. I did not put it in my message, but in the agent, I told to always address the employee, so it's personalized. There's our German. There's some simplified Chinese. We got Portuguese coming in. We've got another English speaker here, and I think that's 8. I have 10 in my directory, so there we go. There's Thai. And lastly is Arabic. So you can see, using a very simple agent task, I was able to just in one step define what I need the AI to do for me, give it the tooling that it needs to pull it off. Translations were built into the AI. It can do that out of the box. But everything else within Domo or within other systems that I needed it to do, I needed to provide a tool. And with that tool and the configuration, I'm able to very simply take this workflow and simplify into one step using the power of AI here at Domo. Thank you very much.
There it is. Thank you to the original Michael Scott. All right, so as you saw, that agent task, that really lets you consolidate logic for multiple actions in a single step. And it's really just about prompt engineering. It's about telling AI what you want to do, and it's going to take the data and the details that you provided, and it's going to pass those to the tools that you identified, and it's going to run them in the proper order. And we think this is going to be very powerful. It's going to be very useful, very convenient for our customers in their workflow steps. And you're able to try it now. It is out now, so please go out there and check it out and give it a try. But hopefully you've had a small taste of what our AI capabilities can do, what they can provide to your business processes. Workflow integrations with AI, with App Studio, with other products in the Domo platform offer a ton of opportunities. And we encourage you to go out there and explore those possibilities, and we look forward to seeing what you create next. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rob. Yeah, so with that, we'll now open up for Q&A. We do have a few minutes left. If there's no Q&A, we can bore you with some more demos for sure. We got a lot more to show, but feel free. We'll start here. Yes.
I just had a question about the data tables that are coming to edit them. Are those powered by a data source possibility? And then if so, what happens if you edit the data on the table and then like the ETL or the data runs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'll just quickly show you. We have one. What's that? Yeah. So the question is the editable tables. How does that work? And is it powered behind a data set? So we actually have coming out today this new table component in App Studio, where you can just drag in a data set, and then you can quickly, sorry, Joe, this is the wrong demo one. But you can quickly edit it. I'll do it on this one. You can add columns and you can change the query. And you can add calculations right on here in place. So you can come in here and do a group by. So this is the first step as far as being able to just in one place come in, add calculations, query it. Then the next piece is being able to actually edit the data. And so that's where, you can bring in an Excel file or use a connector that you can set up through some of our editable data pieces that you'll see. We have a unique key that's part of the editable data set that you can then go and edit from a table, and that's also references live data, and then you can bring it in. And then the third piece would be writing back to the data set after that.
Okay, thank you.
Great question. Yeah, Robin, go ahead.
Do we have watermarks on the exportable reports?
Good question. Not so far, but noted.
Yeah, and we saw the email. It was good. Yeah, right behind you.
Yeah, we're able to do it. Workflow is just an endpoint, so it's just however you can get that data to that endpoint. So that's we can work out an integration there.
Yeah, lots of questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, sorry, I actually have a mic. He got me a microphone. I was wondering, how do some of these new features interact with your embedded feature for the App Studio and things like that?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we're actually already, with the app components, we're already working on embed, so private and public. About 2 weeks ago, we released the embeddable forms, so that's available. And then when we go GA, all these components will be available with embed, publish, and sandbox, and then workflow, that will be part of those pieces as well. Great question.
Chris.
Yeah,
Hi.
Coleman.
Oh, I got a microphone. Thanks, Aaron.
Hey, go ahead, Coleman.
A couple questions for you. On the app component, the no-code table, so not this table, but the other, I think it's called the list. Is that?
Yeah.
Okay. In the list, where is that data stored? Is that like AppDB or is it only in the App Studio app where you can see the data?
Yeah, so right now it would be this data set right here, or the list data set. That one's stored just like any other data set in our course infrastructure. So Adrenaline, those type of things.
Okay, so it's like all the data that's shown here in this list is also in a data table that can be run through Magic ETL
Yeah,
or whatever.
all of that. It's nothing special in that way.
Awesome. And then on the banners, you showed one with a pop-up, an action.
Yeah.
Are those all the same actions as like any other widget, like drill across, like link to something else, or do a pop-up or anything like that? Are there specific actions for those?
No, it's the same. So this one is drilled to a page. The difference with these components is you can define which column will pass through and
then
apply as a filter.
When you did that, there was a breadcrumb to go back. Is that native, or did you just like specially create that breadcrumb from a new button?
No, yeah, that's native. So when you drill to a page,
Awesome.
that breadcrumb was already built in.
Sweet, thank you.
Yep.
To interject there,
Yeah, go
that's just like the page drill functionality today, where you drill using a chart. It takes you to your child page, and then you can go back to the original page.
Yeah, up front.
Hi, quick question about the tools that are available to the agent. Are those built using like the model context protocol or something like that? Can we build our own tools, or is there just a list of default tools that you have available?
So there's a few different ways you can put tools in. A lot of them are just code engine functions from our global library. You can also make your own custom functions in code engine. You can use Jupyter Notebook scripts. You can use other workflows in the near future. And what am I missing, Scott? Anything else?
We are working on MCP. We're looking into that.
Okay, yeah, so MCP is coming, not quite there, but it is on the horizon. This guy right here in the front row.
Yeah, you can choose to. Go ahead.
So can we utilize in the future report building with workflows, or a use case sending out a report to a vendor or a customer? Not vendor or customer list is ever changing, but I need it filtered for them.
That's a good point. We are looking at first step doing trigger-based reporting. So that'll be, hey, when my data changes, send this. Then integration with workflows where it kicks off a workflow. You can have a button on your app which you can click on it. It'll trigger the workflow and then send the report out to multiple things. That's where we're wanting to go with it. So not with the first milestone, but that's what's coming.
Hi, very similar question to his question. I'm right here.
Yeah.
Reports. I saw that the reports can be sent to Domo users.
Yes.
Can they be sent to non-Domo users?
If you have it whitelisted, you can send it externally, just like you do today in schedule reports. So gmail.com, all of those domains, you can send it across different domains. You just need to get that white.
In the event of not being configured, can that be done through a workflow? Because in the workflow demo, a email was just placed.
That is different right now, but we will look into doing some integrations there in the future, just like I said, to make sure your report builder reports can get then triggered through workflows.
Thank you.
And last question, and then if you have more questions, we're open to at the product booth. Feel free to come by. Yeah, right here. Yep. Hand up. Yep. You.
Two-part question. When you're in the editable table, is that also writing back to the source data then as well, or do you have it both ways?
So right now it's not. It's just querying it and it's doing aggregations. But then when editable table comes, yes, then it would be writing back to that editable data set.
And then the translator, is that, I'm assuming that's a third-party service, and is that native?
That's just done through Domo GPT, so it's just built into the text generation LLM, so you're able to use that now.
Is address standardization part of Domo GPT as well?
It's a good question for the AI guys. Come by the product booth and we'll check that out. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.